Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today we'll be talking about a tribute to Percy Green with Rudo, Robert Green, today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Rudo, Robert Green. Robert, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Bernie.
So good to see you again.
What about yourself?
Excellent. Cannot complain at all.
Well, that's a good thing.
A tribute to Percy Green, Afro Day in the Park.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A tribute to a great man. You know, Bernie, I was just sitting around the house and thinking about St. Louis and about my journey in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. I made the 70 rotation around the sun, and I just had this thought about how we celebrate people. Mm-hmm. And I thought about Percy Green. And I called Percy Green up just to tell him that I love him and that I appreciate what he have done for us here in St. Louis, but not just here in St. Louis. He have national implications, if not international implications.
Certainly. Yeah.
And I was 10 years old when Percy Green climbed that arch, and I was there. And so Percy Green to me I always looked up to him. I always followed his career and looked up to him as a big brother to me.
Right. That's wonderful.
I can't trace any blood connection necessarily, but I always admired what he did for us. And he always did it in a specific way. You know, I remember calling Percy Green one time and said, I had a thing that I want to protest. Mm-hmm. And Percy told me, he said, great, as long as you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and you know what you want to say, and we plan this thing out, I'm with you. Right. I didn't go further with that, but Bernie, it's like this here. We had Congressman Clay, that was a great person.
Sure.
We had Norman Say, that was a great person. Right. We had Annie Turbo Malone, was a great person. Mm-hmm. We have all these great people in our community that we wait until they are gone before we give them their flowers.
Sure.
I know some of them been celebrated while they was here, but we have somebody like that in our midst, and that's Percy Green.
Yeah.
He's right here, alive and well, 90 years old. Made that 90-year rotation around the sun.
89.
He's 90 now.
Okay.
He's 90 now. He's 90. He's 90. So when I called him up, I said, Percy, I would like to do a tribute to you, and I would like to call it Afro Day in the Park. And I would like to do it next year. In 25, Percy told me that, go ahead, but you maybe want to do it this year, because I'll be 90 soon. Mm-hmm. And he's told me, he said, and you're not a young man yourself.
So now's the time to do it, right?
So now it's time to do it. And so when he told me that, I said, I'm on it. I'm on it, Percy, and we're going to make this thing happen while you're here.
When will it be held?
It's going to be, actually, I'm calling it kind of Afro Day weekend, kind of like after Afro Day in the Park, and that's what Percy Green started with Action. But it's going to be held October the 5th from 1 to 7 in Fairground Park. That's the actual Afro Day in Fairground Park. Okay. And then we're going to have it kind of a roast on the 6th at the Grill Museum from 3 to 6. Lois Connolly, the great Lois Connolly, the executive director of the Grill Museum, agreed to let us do it there. And then on the 7th, we're going to be marching from the grassy knoll in front of the arch down to the arch ground, and we'll have a thing down there. Now, I know
that's 10 a.m.
That's 10 a.m. to noon.
Okay.
And that 10 a.m. to noon on a Monday is not a holiday.
All right. Mm-hmm.
But it's like...
It's a holiday for us.
It's a holiday for us,
yeah.
for all who show.
Yeah.
And we just going to march down to the arch. I think I'm going to make up some little signs and just kind of like a little protest. And then the arch people are collaborating with us to put out chairs and a podium. And we're going to do some talking out there, and then we're going to descend into the arch, and the person going to be signing posters, and so it's.
Tell us about the history of Afro Day in the Park.
Afro Day in the Park, Bernie. When I was a young boy, it was very enlightening for me, because back then it was literally Afro, because we wore big afros and everything. And,
it's in the 70s, right?
It was in the 70s. It was in the 70s, and I was going to high school, and it seemed like it was a regular thing to me.
Yeah.
And everybody loved Afro Day in the Park. You put on your dashiki and you're dressed up like your African garb, and you go out to the park, you picnic. It was an organic kind of a thing to me.
Sure.
And I didn't know Percy Green was behind it when I was doing it. I just thought it was just, you know, a huge, big organization. And maybe it was. Maybe Action was a big organization.
It was Action. It was no Action who did it. Yeah. It was Afro Day in the Park. Percy Green.
I never forgot about that, Afro Day in the Park. And so Percy, to me, when he climbed that arch, to me, and when he did Afro Day in the Park, to me, when he did the stick in some of these buildings, when he did the lockout in some of these buildings, when he was at the Jefferson Bank boycott, to me, he planted a seed. And sometimes that seed don't germinate. But it may have germinated in other people, but certainly it germinated in me.
Sure. Okay.
I raised my family. I went to college. I raised my family. I got married. I did some things, and now I'm doing more things because I'm trying to carry on that legacy that Percy Green started in me.
That's great.
Yeah, and continue.
Robert Green, Rudo, we know about the Arch. We know about Afro Day in the Park. What are some of the other things that inspired you about Percy Green?
It's just his, you know, there's a lot of great leaders in St. Louis right here today. A lot of great pastors and a lot of great activists in St. Louis. Sure. But to me, Percy Green has always been consistent. You know, I never personally heard any negative publicity about him or anything like that. So it's always been just a smooth operator.
Yeah.
You know, Percy Green came to Unity Festival Market in Fairground Park. I sponsored that with some other folks. And he was telling us how to protest when you're in a crowd. And it was simple. He said, just say, boo. Just say, boo. And I'm like, boo? What are they going to do?
Just scare them, right?
Yeah, just boo. You know.
He's always been an advocate for civil disobedience. That's his theme, his mantra.
His what?
His mantra, civil disobedience. That's what he...
Simple?
Yeah. Civil disobedience.
Civil disobedience.
Right, right.
And
well, you know, he's very personal. Percy's been on my show here for many, many times. You know, in fact, he's on a montage, on our opener. But he went to jail for me 2 or 3 times. Oh, certainly.
For you?
For me, yeah. Protest that we did for different radio stations. Percy was on the forefront of some of the things, some of the actions that I took against the city. And he actually was arrested for some of the protests that he did for me, with me, you know. So I commend you for recognizing my dear friend also, Percy Green.
Excellent.
So, Robert, once again, tell us when it's going to be and where it's going to be.
Okay, so on October the 5th, from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m., it's going to be in Fairground Park. Okay. And we're going to have...
What time?
From 1 to 7.
Okay.
From 1 o'clock, 8 p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m.
Now, where is Fairground Park?
Fairground Park is located between Grand and Vanderbilt, in that area, in between Natural Bridge and Kasu.
Okay, Natural Bridge and Kasu.
Yeah.
So Natural Bridge and Vanderbilt is good.
Right. Okay. That's good.
Okay.
And so on October the 5th, we're going to be there in Fairground Park from 1 to 7.
Okay.
And then on October the 6th, we're going to be at the Grill Museum from 3 to 6.
And that's 2505 St. Louis Avenue.
That's 2505 St. Louis Avenue.
3 to 6.
And then from on the 7th, which is that Monday, we're going to be down at the Gateway Arch, and we're going to meet right across from the old courthouse on the arch ground, and we're going to march to the arch, and then we'll have a program there.
It also says artifacts, music, poetry, art, dance, vendor booths, food, children's activities, health and wellness, prizes and lectures. It's been a well-organized organization. Well-organized event.
Yeah.
Pretty well organized.
Always. You know, I've been doing events for 10 years, and every event that I do turn out to be wonderful events.
Okay.
People come out, vendors galore come out. We have never had any kind of incident at all. It's just been wonderful. People just come out and just I don't know. It seems like to me, Bernie, that what I do, and I guess the message I deliver, it just attracts people to come out and just do the right thing. Do the right thing.
Wonderful. How can they reach you?
They can reach me by going to our website, of course, which is St. Lafab at StLaFab.com, which is SaintLaAAFab.com. Or they can call me, 314-243-1021. And we have a brick and mortar site, Bernie. So they can come by my brick and mortar site. which is 2205 St. Louis Avenue.
2205.
2205 St. Louis Avenue.
Down
I'm
the
there
street
most
from
of the time.
Down the street from the Radio Museum.
Exactly.
3 blocks,
And diagonally down the street from where I live.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm there. If you call me and you want to come down here in the area to visit with me, come on down.
Okay.
You know.
Robert Green, we're talking about Robert Green, a tribute to Percy Green today on the Bernie Hayes Show, and we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. And we'll be right back with Robert Green after this.
Just drive downtown St. Louis, drive by City Hall, and you'll see, what do they do? For a year now, a fence is all the way around City Hall and neighboring parks to keep the homeless people out. You talk about a visible enlightenment as to NIMBY and how it exists. Just take a look at St. Louis City Hall. Not in my backyard is what they're saying, but they're not alone. So many other people are saying, not in my backyard when it comes to the hurting and the homeless. So where are they going to go? What are they going to do? We haven't seen a single new shelter open in the city of St. Louis for 15 years due to something called plat and petition. And it's not just the city of St. Louis, it's St. Louis County, Jefferson County, Franklin County, Madison County, St. Clair County in Illinois. What are they doing? They want to ship their homeless to St. Louis. That's wrong. We have to see each county taking care of their own homeless people. And that's why we may have to file a lawsuit in the near future against Jefferson County and St. Charles County and St. Louis County to take care of their own homeless according to Missouri state law and start shipping it everywhere else. Well, in the meantime, we need your help here at New Life Evangelistic Center. We receive no city, state, or federal dollars. Our teams are out every day among the poorest to the poor. They don't need our excuses. They need direct help. We are having to distribute hundreds and hundreds of sandwiches, hundreds and hundreds of bottles of water. We urgently need water. You can bring it to 806 North Jefferson in Springfield or 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. There are so many hurting people. Yes, in Springfield we get 150, 200 homeless people a day, and most of them sleep outside. So we have to distribute tents and sleeping bags, and long underwear and gloves and socks and hats. Why don't you have a drive at your church and help us at this time? Further information, call us at 1-800-334-3276 or 314-421-3020. That's 314-421-3020. Go to the website at nlecstl.org, and your tax-deductible gifts are urgently needed now. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166.
Everybody, please donate. You know, help New Life keep going, because just think about it. When you go buy a bag of chips, instead of buying a bag of chips or a cup of coffee, get someone off the street. Help them change their life so maybe one day they're on their own coffee company or their own chip company. It's a stride, but it starts as a process. Please continue to help New Life, because without New Life, a lot more people would not be here.
And welcome back. My guest is Robert Green. We're talking about Afro Day in the Park, in the Park, a tribute to Percy Green. Well, Bob Dimler, my producer and director, asked, are you and Percy Green related, Robert Green?
We're not, Bernie, we're not blood related, but I always consider him my big brother.
Okay.
But we can't find any lineage, you know, or in our ancestry. So I always consider him my big brother, but we're not blood related.
Okay. Yeah. There's Darlene Green, Percy Green, Robert Green. Are any of you, are you related?
I don't think Darlene Green and I and Percy are related.
Okay.
But Darlene called me her brother and I call her my sister.
Okay.
You know, so, and I call Percy Green my brother, and I would be honored if he called me his little brother. I call him my big brother, and I would be honored if he called me his little brother.
Sure.
You know? And I have two big brothers. But you know, and that's great and wonderful, but I just admire and love Percy so much that I would be honored for him to call me big brother.
He'll be there at Afro Day in the Park, right?
He'll be there for Afro Day in the Park. I talked to Bernie. He said he'd be there for all 3 days. He said he'd be disseminating flyers too as well.
Great.
And of course, his wife Jamala Rogers. She's got it posted on her page.
Sure.
And people have been sharing it, and so I expect to have a good crowd.
That's great.
You know, because I stayed in the vein of Percy Green. When he did Afro Day in the Park, he didn't charge anybody to come out to the park.
Right.
Normally, the events that I do, I charge people a vendor fee, but no vendor fee. Okay. No vendor fee.
Well, tell them how they can reach you still and participate.
Again, they can reach me by going to our website, SaintLaFab.com, or you can call me at 314-243-1021, or you can stop by my brick and mortar site. And if you're knocking on the door, if I don't answer, call me, because I'm always in the area. So I'm easily able to get a hold of.
Okay. Let's talk about Robert Green.
Okay, let's do that.
Tell us about you. Who are you?
Bernie, you know, I am a activist and artist. I'm a loving husband with two beautiful daughters that's grown, college educated, often gone. And one of my daughters moved back to St. Louis. I got two beautiful granddaughters.
Oh, wow.
And I got a great grandson. One of my daughters, she's just traveling all over the world, doing wonderful things. And my wife and I, we've been together. We've been married 40 years, and we dated for 7. I peeked at her for 3. So that's 50 years of loving that woman. And I just have a beautiful wife.
That's great.
And when you have a beautiful wife, you have beautiful kids and grandchildren and family, you have a beautiful life. And that's what's missing in society, bro.
What's your wife's name, bro?
My wife's name is Rosemary Green.
Okay.
And my daughter name is Rose Renee Green.
Okay.
And my granddaughter name is Rose Mary Green.
House full of roses.
A lot of roses. A lot of roses.
Well, tell us about the regalia and all the artifacts that you wear. You know, I guess you're 10 pounds heavier when you get up.
I'm 10 pounds heavy, burning a lot of ways. And the thing is, you know, my metabolism has slowed down, so I'm eating food and I don't lose no weight. So I'm heavier than I've been on previous shows.
Yeah, but the
regalia from the 10 pounds there, this maybe 20 pounds, because sometimes I'm like
maybe.
this.
Okay.
But the regalia is like, I travel, and I go to Ghana, and I embellish my walls with a whole lot of stuff. My walls come to my home, it's like a museum. And I told my wife I'd stop that, but I got this obsession, right, with things. And so I collect things. I've been to Paris, I've been to, travel around the world, around the country. But most of this comes from Africa, and I got a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so I love it. This is the national bird of Ghana, the Tawny hawk, they call them. And this is the bull symbol from Ghana. Bull is a powerful force. And here's a bull here, and this is a symbol here that reference to, it's called a Referendum, and it protects you from the vicissitudes of life.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's all just, and I got more.
Yeah.
So if I don't wear, who's gonna wear it?
So what's the address of your home?
The address of my personal residence?
Yeah.
The address of my personal residence is 2232 St. Louis Avenue.
Can anyone come in there, like the Golden Gorilla Museum, and see all the artifacts that you have?
If you call me at that number,
Sure.
314-243-1021.
Yes, you're saying it too fast.
If you call me and you want to come and visit my house, I have had hundreds of people come through my house.
Okay.
Literally, 30, 20, like that at a time.
Yeah.
Through my house.
What's the name? What's the phone number again? Can you say it slower?
The phone number is 314-243-1021. And Bernie, I used to call my home the Frederick Douglass Museum of African American Vernacular Images. Because I collect photographs from almost the event of photography all the way to the 1900s. And see, I had a call from the descendants. I know Frederick Douglass descendants.
Wow. Okay.
By the way, Ken Morris. He ran the Frederick Douglass Family Initiative.
Right.
And so I got a very rare carte de visite of Frederick Douglass that the provenance is unimpeachable.
Wow.
It's like Frederick Douglass handed to George Boyer Vachon. And when George Boyer Vachon died, his wife, Susan Paul Vachon, relocated to St. Louis on the south side of St. Louis. And when she died, her son, John Vachon, moved to Finley Street and then ended up married into the Gosson family. And so I have a very rare carte de visite, which is a French for visiting card.
Sure.
And in my museum, in my home, I should say my home.
Yeah.
And so Frederick Douglass' descendants they're building a museum in Rochester, New York. And he just called me maybe 3 days ago, and he wants that carte de visite in his museum. It's in books and everything.
Sure.
And so my house is full of all these images that I didn't see when I was a young kid. I saw, you buy firecrackers.
Yeah.
And you see a little black boy on there eating watermelon, stuff like that, the negative stuff.
Sure, of course.
And so when you come to my home,
all the images.
it addresses that negative stuff and show the positive images of us.
Yeah.
That's why I carry walking sticks, right?
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I wear walking sticks because a lot of the images that I have in my collection have dapper gentlemen and ladies with walking sticks.
Right.
It was part of their attire. in the walking stick etiquette. You wear a walking stick just like I'm wearing this jacket.
Sure.
So if you ask me, say, Robert, can I handle your walking stick? That's almost like asking me to try on my jacket.
Yeah.
Or try on my top hat or something like that. And so be careful what you bring into your house. You may take over some of those.
Yeah, and be careful what somebody take out of your house too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Wow.
But I have had many people come through my house, and they have been so kind that they would write letters. So I got stacks of letters thanking me for letting me come into my house. I got many people coming to my studio, and this was a building that I built for my daughter. I mean, I had a built, but I restored for my daughter, but she couldn't handle it. So I turned it to my studio, and so I had programs there. I let people use the space and everything.
That's great.
And everything. But I don't want to talk about myself. I want to talk about Percy Green.
Okay, we're going to do that. So once again, tell us what day is Afro Day in the Park?
Afro Day in the Park, October the 5th, 1 to 7.
Okay.
We're going to have, Bernie, we're going to have talk speakers. We're going to have dancers, drummers, singers, bands, the whole 9 yards. The stage is going to be packed.
That's great. Good
I hope you can be on that stage, Bernie.
Good food and everything.
I hope you can be on that stage to say a word for our brother.
Okay. And we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. I'm talking to Robert Green, or Rudo, and we're talking about Percy Green, Afro Day in the Park. Back after this.
God loves a cheerful giver. Even though things are really tough right now, you can make a difference in the lives of so many. New Life has been doing this work for 50 years, and we have seen God's gracious goodness through people like you who have participated in this work. There are so many people who are suffering. More people are becoming homeless for the first time with the rising costs of inflation and food and housing and so many other commodities. We need help. You can make a difference today in the lives of so many by giving your tax-deductible gift to P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. Or go to newlifeevangelisticcenter.org or call to get involved in this incredible work.
Today's subject, Dory Miller. Born in Waco, Texas in 1919. In 1938, he enlisted in the Navy as a mess attendant to earn money for his family. At that time, the Navy was segregated, so combat positions were not open to African Americans. On December 7, 1941, Miller saw the Japanese planes were still dive bombing the U.S. naval fleet at Pearl Harbor. He picked up a .50 caliber Browning anti-aircraft machine gun, in which he had never been trained, and managed to shoot down 3 to 4 Japanese aircraft. Dory Miller was sent on tour of the United States to raise money for the war bonds, but Miller was soon called back in the spring of '43 to serve on the new escort carrier called the USS Liscum Bay. On November 24th, the ship was hit by a single torpedo fired from a Japanese submarine. However, many officers and men of the Navy felt that for his actions at Pearl Harbor, Miller deserved to be awarded the Medal of Honor. He was the first African American awarded the U.S. Navy Cross, and he was also one of 4 naval heroes featured on U.S. postal stamps in 2010. Dory Miller.
Hey, viewers of the Bernie Hayes Show, have you ever seen so many people as you travel around the streets of St. Louis City, St. Louis County, over in Illinois, Jefferson County, St. Charles County, that are homeless? So many out on street corners, so many people are having to sleep outside in vacant buildings. The New Life Evangelistic Center's got teams going out every day, working among those individuals, taking them hundreds of bottles of water every week, hundreds and hundreds of sandwiches. And now as winter comes upon us, we're having to get blankets and sleeping bags and tents, long underwear, even making little canned heaters, just so many needs. And that's why your involvement in New Life Evangelistic Center is so very important. And send those gifts to New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. Your gifts, your prayers are absolutely essential at this moment.
Welcome back. Afro Day in the Park, October 5th, 6th, and 7th in St. Louis, Missouri. North St. Louis Neighborhood Council presents Afro Day in the Park. And we have the sponsor right here with us, Robert Green. Robert, Rudo, once again, tell us why this is important to you and should be to us.
Why this is important to me, Bernie.
And to us.
And to us.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Why is it important to... This is a tribute to Percy Green. Mm-hmm. And Percy Green is like having Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Annie Malone walking around in our midst, and we don't know it.
Okay.
And the young people don't know it. You talk to people, baby boomers, they know Percy Green. But it's bigger than that, because it's also a 3-day event. That third day, when we're talking about taking a day off that they didn't give us, and we're going to march down to the arch, that's really significant. That had repercussion throughout not just St. Louis City, but America, because we are in the heart of America, St. Louis City. This is where civil rights got its start. And so when we do things, and we do it big, if we're serious, then we can change the paradigm. They say, oh, what are they doing taking a day off without asking us? You feel me?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of bold initiative we need to start to push. It's a small thing, but when Percy climbed that arch, it was a small thing, but it was a huge thing because it had national and international ramifications.
Paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift.
Okay.
I don't know who did what first, but in 1964, when Percy Green climbed that arch, President Johnson was signing the Civil Rights Bill.
Yeah.
If he signed it after Percy Green climbed that arch, or even before, he signed that arch. But Percy Green was doing things before. He was pushing that Civil Rights Bill when Dr. King and all them folks were pushing the Civil Rights Bill.
Certainly.
And
he was marching to Jefferson Bank
so
and everything.
we should celebrate and pay tribute to Percy Green because he was instrumental for a lot of things that we got today. In fact, when I started working for IBM back in the 70s, it was EEOC that came out of the civil rights.
Sure.
And so Percy Green and others like Percy Green, even my brother, you.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you.
I want next year for you.
Oh, you're very kind. Let me say now, October the 5th, Afro and Fairgrounds Park.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's at Fairgrounds Park. That's from 1 to 7 p.m.
1 to
so
7
it's a
p.m.
whole all-day event.
1 to 7 p.m. all day event. Music, speakers, messages, positive messages about what we need to do going forward for our young people. We baby boomers and Generation Xers need to leave a legacy. And we got a legacy going on, but we need to be more specific. Specification is the key. We need to be more specific collectively.
Okay. Now, October 6th, tribute to Percy Green at the Greer Museum. And actually, there's a statue, a wax figure of Percy in the Greer Museum.
There is a exhibit of Percy Green with some of his artifacts in the museum.
Right.
Lois Conley is not only an executive director in the
Griot.
she's also an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, and also now they're going to march October the 7th from the old courthouse at the Gateway Arch from 10 a.m. to noon.
Yeah.
That's our day off.
That's our day off.
The way we took it.
We took it. Right. We did it before.
No,
we did it before.
We've done it before.
We went to Washington, D.C.
Yes.
The March on Washington.
Yes,
we did it before.
Certainly.
We took that day. They didn't give it. We took it. We went.
That's
and
right.
so Monday here in St. Louis, we're taking a day.
Taking it. That's wonderful.
It starts small and work, and then work its way up. Okay. If I'm here, I do the same thing next year.
Okay.
And if I'm here the next year after that, Bernie, it's like this with me. Percy is 90 years old. I'm 70.
Okay.
I get tired. But then I think about Percy's 90. How can I quit? How can I stop?
Once again, tell us how to become involved and how to reach you and how to do what we have to do.
You can reach me by calling 314-243-1021. Or you can hit our website at Saint LaFab. That's SaintLaafab.com. Or you can stop by my studio, which is 2205 St. Louis Avenue. I'm in the area most times. I live right up the street, either there or the studio. But you can call me, website, come to the studio.
Robert, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Rudo, thank you very, very much for being here today and letting us know about this Afro Day in the Park.
Bernie, I appreciate you. I want to tell you, as always, I love you dearly and sincerely.
Thank you,
and man, you've been doing the job for a long time. I've been listening to you more too.
Long time.
Long time.
Thank you, Robert.
Long time.
And thanks to each and every one of you for allowing us to come into your home today.
Yeah.
I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day. And please support the New Life Evangelistic Center. Have a good day.